What's up, guys? How are you doing? It's been a minute since I posted one of these videos, but I'm back. It's time. I got a couple questions that I was asked, since the last video, and I thought I'd make a video about this particular question, and the question was about being a backup. So, if you don't know, in college wrestling, there's a starting lineup, and then there are your backups, meaning you have your top 12 if you're in NAI, top 10 and Division 1 to Division 3. And then you have everyone else on the team, which teams usually consist of about 30 to 50 guys. My team was always right around 40 to 45 guys. And so naturally we had backups. And some people tend to be very sad that they're a backup. And I totally get it. Being a backup is not exactly what people go to college for. Being backup can be looked down upon, and backups can be, kind of stigmatized and seen as really unimportant. But I really don't think that they are unimportant. I think backups are, incredibly important, actually. And there's a couple reasons. A backup is a practice partner. When I went to practice, I couldn't just go and shadow wrestle all day. I needed a guy who was my size, my weight, around the same speed as me, who also had pretty decent wrestling skills to drill. I needed Nico Bustle. I needed Carlos Figueroa. I needed these guys who were my size, who are also extremely great practice partners, who are guys who are willing to say, yes, I'm going to come help you. I know you're on the road to your third national title, but I know that you're on your road for your third national title and that I may not be the starter, but I need to help you get better so that the team gets better and so the team has a chance to accomplish its mission as a team. So being a backup is a great opportunity for you to be more than yourself. Don't just be that guy who goes to practice when he's told. Be the guy who helps out the starter. Be the guy who's there when the starter needs an extra workout. Be the guy someone else can rely on. Being a backup, that's one of the great things that you can do. Another great thing about being backup is you are support for the starters. If you've seen Lindsey Wilson, we always had a ton of our backups go to our tournaments with us, go to our duels with us. And these guys were, if there was no one, if there were no parents, if there were no fans, these were the ones cheering us on, making sure that we were getting after, making sure that we felt good. We were running sprints, so we're going in a circle, running track sprints in the wrestling room. And we've done this, I think, 2 or 3 times, and one of the times, all the backups, meaning the guys who didn't make it to nationals, were standing in a half circle right when we were about to hit our sprint, and they were cheering us on. They're like, let's go, push it, get that extra rep, let's freaking go, let's go. And that was pumping me up, man. And the backups, they made me go harder. If it wasn't for the backups, maybe I wouldn't have hit those extra sprints. If it wasn't for the backups, maybe I wouldn't have, hit 120% when I did. And I really do truly believe because of the backups. And this is just a small example of what backups can do as far as being a support character also. That sounds horrible once again, but it is not. You got to take your ego out of it. You got to take yourself out of it. You got to look at it from 10,000 feet and say, how can I as a person, because I might be speaking to some backups right now, how can I as a person, as a backup, as a friend, help these top 12 guys or top 10 guys in Division 1? How can I help them get to the next level? I can be the guy sitting there screaming at them, pumping up, being positive thoughts, being, good self-talk for these guys. I can be the guy being support. So being a backup partner, it's a great opportunity to both be a great practice partner and to be a great support for the starters. And another thing, as far as helping yourself as a backup, when you're a backup, you can create clear goals. Let me back up for a second. You can create clear goals. Let me go forward here for a second. You can create clear goals as a backup. Okay? When you're a backup, you have a target. Unlike some starters don't really have when they have the national tournament and stuff like that, but you as a backup, you can basically minimize your goals. Don't think about the national tournament yet. Don't think about conference tournament yet. Don't think about any of that stuff. Think about getting the starting spot. How can I get better so that coach allows me to be the starter? Being a backup, you have someone to scale from. Oh, look at Brandon. He's doing this. He's the starter. I'm also going to do this stuff, and hopefully eventually all of that compounds and then I become the starter. It's actually awesome to become a backup because your potential, your maximum potential for growth is even higher than the starters, because the starters, they're already good. Yes, they already have the opportunity to win nationals and stuff. You as the backup, you're seen as someone who doesn't have that opportunity, and you can become the guy. Do the Tom Brady. Look it up if you don't know what I mean. You can become the guy even though you weren't supposed to be the guy. The guy who came into college from high school, who was a super stud, 5-star recruit, blue chip athlete, is not always the guy who's in the starting lineup. Look at many, many, many Division I through JUCO schools, and that is the case. Being a backup, the last thing I'm going to give you here, guys, is being a backup is a life lesson. I have a business now. I'm running a business that's been doing pretty well, and I'm just at the start of it. But I know one thing. I'm not the #1 wrestling club coach. I'm not. I'm just not yet. I'm less than a year into it. Some of these guys are 10, 15, 20 years into it. It's the same. The starter, they're 10 plus years into putting in hard freaking work, and that's why they're at the top. Being a backup is a life lesson. It's life telling you, yo, you don't deserve to just get the best. You don't deserve the opportunities that these people deserve, because these people put in the work to get the opportunity to go win national titles, to win conference titles, to start at the big duels, to travel with the team. You have not earned that yet. You have not put in the time, the hours, the dedication. You haven't studied enough film. You haven't learned enough technique. There's so much more to be gained as a backup, because it's very clear what you're missing. Unlike, like I said, if you're a national champion, it's really hard the next year to come back and say, how do I get better? You can, and I feel like I did a really good job of that, but it is much harder. But just know, as the backup, you are in the land of opportunities, and you can't have negative self-talk about it. You can't be a hater. You don't want to be jealous. Man, I've met the jealous guy. Do not be the jealous backup. That jealousy gets you nowhere. Hate gets you nowhere. Talking crap about the starter behind his back gets you nowhere. You know what gets you somewhere? Going to the gym, getting the extra reps, having a good diet, being consistent, having faith in your training, doing the right things every single day for 10 plus years. And when you're in college, you have only 4 years. And then hopefully going out and performing. That's what you should do. Don't be resentful because someone else is starting above you. I have met resentful backups. Don't be that person. Look at being a backup as a great opportunity. Say good. Go get after it. Figure out a way for you to be the starter next week, next month, next year, 2 seasons from now. Whatever it takes, you can be the starter. And then eventually, you can start worrying about winning conference and national titles or state titles if you're in high school. Being the backup is not a bad thing, guys. It's really good, actually. It's a great opportunity, and you should really take advantage of it. It's good to be back, guys. See you later.